October 4th. There was more to the dream. But there's only one scene that stands out, really stands out. And it's the final scene. And I'm in my old childhood bedroom. And I'm by a bed right along the window to the outdoors, to my backyard. And it was in between light and dark. Dusk? Is it dusk? Like when the sun is going to start coming up, but it was still dark. But I knew it was like right before the sun was gonna come up, because I was waking up. And I wasn't afraid. And I was just laying on my bed, looking out the window, and then laying on my bed. And I was listening to MJ. And it was interesting because I was listening to her, and I was captivated because she was telling my story, but in a way that was so incredibly accurate. More than ever. That's what surprised me in this dream, was that it was, and in reality, like I don't listen to her as much anymore. Like, it's because it doesn't feel like it applies to me. So I just kind of skip over it. Like the moment I start hearing it and the moment she starts talking, like I'll just skip over it because I know it's not for me. And I just go about my day. And I think that's what shocked me in this dream, was that it was incredibly accurate. It was incredibly accurate in terms of the choices that I had made in my life. And then she starts talking about twin flames. And I'm laying in this bed, and there's this feeling of completion. There's this feeling, I'm happy, I'm happy. I'm happy because I completed what I needed to do, was the feeling. And there was this knowing that I was just getting ready for the next part. That I was just getting ready for this, the next task, the next, whatever the next is. So I was happy. I felt good. And I'm laying in this bed, looking out the window. And it was a window that I used to look at when I was little. It was the exact same window that I looked at where I spoke out into the universe. Like, I know I am meant for something big, but I don't know what it was. Or what it is, right? I was like, gosh, how old was I? Like 8? 7, 8 or 9? One of those. I remember looking out and looking up into the sky and just saying, like, I know I'm meant for something big, but I don't know what. Gosh. So I was happy. And as she goes on with this, I don't know if it was a twin flame reading. I don't think so, because in the beginning it just felt like it was mine. But then she starts talking about twin flame. I kid you not, like every other word in her, in terms of the cards that she was pulling out, she kept saying Virgo, 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 Virgo. And I just remember just laying, like, just laying in my bed, looking up, turning around, listening. And you came up in my mind. Like, there was just this knowing that it was you. O sea, Jesús Cisneros, that it was you. And there was this feeling of waiting. But it was a different waiting. She was talking about you were at a crossroads. That's what she was saying, that you were at a crossroads. About what did she say? Realizing that you wanted to be happy, that you were going to leave the old life behind, or something like that. And you popped up in my mind as I was listening to her. I was happy, but I was happy like it wasn't. There was this knowing from in the dream that you were at a crossroads, and there was the feeling of waiting wasn't very. It wasn't like the last one. Like, I noticed that it wasn't like about the fire sign where I was sitting there and I was just waiting. And I was upset that I had to wait for him. It wasn't like that. It was more of this knowing and this waiting but not waiting feeling. I don't know how to explain it. It was just this, there was just this peace with me and what I have achieved so far. And I mean, I went to bed grateful. I had finished a session with my client, one of my last clients, and she had said, Yubi, you're right. Life works in cycles. And she's so much more aware. And she's like, what did she say? She said, this cycle keeps happening, but it hadn't happened for 6 years, is what she said. And she said, I've been, moving through these other guys, and she's picking up on the red flags faster. And she's like, give me this one. This situation from 6 years ago, that's the dragon that I need to slay, is what she said. And she's like, I think after this, and she's like, because this was the one that really affected me, she said. She's like, after this, it's good. So we were just talking about, if this has come up for her after 6 years, it's probably because she's ready for it. And I encouraged her to identify what she did back then, what she thinks she needs to do differently now, to listen to her intuition. I said, journal about it. She's like, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. She was just still very emotionally reacted because it just happened. And I was just so grateful to see her shift, to see her change, to see her feel more trusting of herself, more empowered despite this trigger. And I started reflecting, well, on the fact that it's October, like realization that it's been 2 years. I started listening to some of the songs of when I first started this journey, and just I was getting like whiffs, emotional whiffs of where I was, and imagining myself walking down the old in my first apartment, right? And the feeling that it was like the nerve, there was a little bit of nervousness of just being on my own for the first time, and like actually trying to do it on my own, and just the routine that I had given myself, and just the emotional experience of that 2 years ago. And then reflecting on where I am now, and just everything that I've learned, the growth that I've done, that I've documented. And it just felt good. Like I just remember last night feeling so good. So good. And knowing, no longer pushing away, right? But just knowing, I'm like, Yubi, I really need to start focusing on taking care of like just the day-to-day routine. Like just stay focused, right? On the day-to-day routine, and what I need to, you know, complete for myself, take care of myself, just, you know, just the day-to-day stuff, right? And yesterday was like one of the first days where, I mean, there was always a whiff of it, right? But there was always this pull, like to go off in La La Land, because I'm an air sign. But yesterday there was this more of this gratitude and joy in how the day unfolded, and just there's just, I just loved it. I loved that I was able to focus on just the day, and that I found joy in it. There wasn't this longing. It was just like I was just being present, and it felt so good. Felt so good. And knowing that that's what I need to keep focusing. There was just this knowing. But I don't think I had experienced it emotionally like I did yesterday. So yesterday, or so in the dream, it was just, the feeling that I got was this sense of like happiness, because I knew I had completed my part of my journey. And so when MJ in my dream was bringing up Virgo, 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 like so much Virgo energy, and this, and what she was saying about what I can only assume is your storyline. In my dream, it was you. In my dream, it wasn't an emotional. It was just a knowing. There was no emotional, like I could feel your energy. It was more of this just knowing that it was you she was talking about. And I was just laying in this bed. There was this youthful feel to me, so youthful but adult feel at the same time. I thought about my ex, because there's a point where she talks about, you know, that you've left your ex because you know you have this mission to complete. But the feeling that I got was just that you were at a crossroads. You were going to make your decision. And there was just this knowing that regardless of what you choose, right, it was going to be for you. And whatever point of expansion you reach for you and your decisions, that's your choice, you know? We choose how far we push our expansion, right? That's the beauty of life, is we choose. Once we realize we have the power to choose, we choose how far we want to expand. We choose. So it was just a good feeling. That's all I know. It was just a good feeling. Regardless of what decision you make, it was just a good feeling. That's interesting. The good feeling of whatever unfolds will need to unfold. Will unfold exactly as it needs to. Yeah, there was this waiting feeling, but I wasn't bothered. That was it. It was just, I wasn't bothered by it. So, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see what life... No. Not what life shows me. We'll see how my choices unfold. My choices. Because every day I'm making small choices. Every day I'm just chipping away. And it feels good. It feels good to have that power. To be aware of that power every day. It feels good.
Hey you, my name is Yubi and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background experience and education, to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.